Gucci, Gucci 2 times, say it 2 times. Gucci, Gucci 2 times, say it 2 times. Gucci, Gucci 2 times.
There's a website called Mike. It is a stupid website. And Mike cuts a bunch of videos, is M-I-C. They cut a bunch of videos, usually about sexuality in the most sort of abhorrent and sensationalistic fashion. They cut a video yesterday about cis men liking trans women. It's a bunch of trans women, meaning men who believe that they are women, and some of whom have had surgery and makeup done to confirm this. They are complaining that men, when they find out that they actually have penises or are biological men, are unhappy about this, and that means that men must be afraid of their own masculinity. So try to follow the logic here. If you're a man who doesn't want to have sex with a man who has made himself up to look like a woman for the objective world, and I'm not getting into their head, maybe you believe you're a woman, doesn't matter. Bottom line is, does a man have a right to say, I'm not into a penis? And like, is that okay still? Apparently not. Apparently this makes you gay. So if you're a man who doesn't like a penis, you're gay now. I'm very confused by all of this. Here's the Mike video. It's not good.
I definitely feel unsafe a lot of the time in public spaces. I think initially people look at me because they're like, wow, here's a tall, attractive woman walking down the street. And then the more they look, they notice that I'm trans and they're like, no way. And then they're just like, oh my God. And then maybe they think, is she a hooker? Is she a movie star? Is she a model?
I leave my house with a prayer. Am I gonna get attacked when I leave my house because I don't feel comfortable or I don't feel confident in how I look? Navigating in New York City as a trans woman, you know, it's more psychological. You start thinking, are they looking at me because I'm trans? Or some man features are coming through, like, why is people looking? So I think it's more psychological for a trans person to feel scared in public places, especially when it's a big crowd.
I have this everyday mantra, which I tell myself every time as I get ready in the morning, that I'm amazing, I'm smart and beautiful and talented, because these are also words that I kind of help beat down self-deprecating thoughts that I have of myself. My form of self-expression is through fashion. And for me, every time I step outside of my apartment building, I always get a little bit of anxiety just because my queerness is really visible. So I'm literally wearing who I am on the outside, and that's putting myself in a really vulnerable state. So to have all these eyes and judgments and whatnot can be really quite heavy sometimes.
At night, dressed the way I do, I think like I attract a lot of attention to myself. There are times where a man will approach me and they think I'm attractive, and then they start to talk to me and they hear my voice, and then they're like, oh, she's transgender. And then like, I feel like the immediate reaction at that point is like to get angry or to get violent. Why are you walking around like this, trying to fool all these men? Like, here I was assigned male at birth and I had all these privileges, and now I'm like ruining that. I'm having surgeries and I'm feminizing my body, and that to men can make them very uncomfortable and very angry.
Situation once where I'm pretty sure this guy knew that I was trans, and like he was talking to me, and I talk just like this. I never change my voice. I don't like try to sound like, you know, a cis woman. I just talk like this all the time. And so I was talking to this guy, and because I thought it was just a friendly conversation and I thought he was hot, so why not, right? But I could feel that there was a woman, a cis woman, that walked by, and she obviously gave us like some really weird look, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're talking to her, in a sense. And I could feel his energy shift because of that.
For me, maybe sometimes these men don't know I'm trans, or whoever I get hit on don't know I'm trans. Yeah, it's like disgusting, but secretly inside, you're like, I know I look good. And that brings me confidence. As much as I hate it, and I think it's disgusting catcalling, secretly in my mind, I'm like, I know I look good. That means it makes me feel passable.
It's been sort of a challenge because I feel like sometimes men avoid openly dating me because they think that to be seen out in public with me or to introduce their parents to me, it would prompt people to like question their sexuality. Like, is this guy gay because he's dating a trans woman? The reality is, like, I think trans women are like cool and smart and hot, and guys should stop being so insecure about it. Like, we're women too. Not a woman.
Okay, stop it there for a second. I'm not saying that this person is quote unquote playing dress up. I don't know what this person's mental condition is. Okay, I would suggest this person is suffering from a delusion, and I wouldn't suggest that. That is a fact. This person is suffering from a delusion. This person is not a woman. Okay, this person is not a biological woman. This person may believe they're a biological woman. They may believe they're a very feminine man. They may believe they're a trans woman. That's not the same as a biological woman. Okay, it's not that a man is the guy who is looking at this person and saying, that's a man, and I'm not sexually attracted to that. Or the guy who initially takes a look before realizing that that's a man. Okay, there's nothing that is wrong with that, either morally or in terms of sensitivity. Dictating other people's sexual proclivities, I thought, was off the table. Like until 5 minutes ago, I thought it was stay out of my bedroom. Now apparently it's get in my bedroom or you're a sexist, right? Get in here, right? And take a look at this. That's not the way that this works, okay? You don't get to dictate to anybody else how they act. This is my problem with a lot of what's happening in the radical trans movement, is not that these are people who are just saying, leave me alone to live my life. I'm fine with that. Do whatever the hell you want to do. You want to get a surgery? That's your problem. You're an adult. You want to go out and have hormone treatments? I don't think it'll be great for you. That's your decision anyway. I'm not your doctor. That's your problem. Go for it. Right? I'm completely libertarian on this. But it is my problem when you're suggesting that somehow I am not secure enough in my own masculinity when I say I'm not into your penis. Okay, stop. This is not logical. It doesn't make any sense. It's ridiculous. It's actually rather tyrannical. And it cuts counter to the entire privacy movement that you guys are trying to establish, or you guys or girls, well, whatever. Okay, the whole thing is just silly. So we can play a little bit more of this, but be ready to pause it. Okay.
I'm 24/7.
Certain cis men who I find
I like the shots of the random guys. They know they're even in this shot.
Their approach to trans women specifically is a very dismissive approach. I think that their view on us is that of a weak boy. They don't really see us as women.
I tend to.
So now you're a weak boy. You understand? They're challenging the masculinity of guys who don't want to have sex with guys. Hey, Adam Carolla had a line in I think it was his first book, where he says that we're eventually going to reach the point where we challenge the masculinity of boys who are not secure enough in their masculinity to be gay. We're eventually going to say to young boys that if you want to show you're a real man and that you're secure in your masculinity, go over there and kiss another guy. That'll show how secure you are in your masculinity. Like that's the way this is going. We're pretty much there. We didn't have far to go. Okay.
I enjoy watching your videos where you're people on your so I want to understand your position on transgender people better.
Sure.
So, as you're probably aware, the genitals and the brain form two separate stages, and based on the amount of hormone, which is usually triggered by the chromosomes that are produced to the genitals, it's either male or female.
Right.
And whether or not that is also, since the brain is in a separate state, it's possible to influence that, but it's also possible that it may not be. So I'm wondering, from your perspective, there's not some studies like Milton Diamond did one where they injected female biological rats with testosterone in the brain, and just during the brain stage, and these rats, started talking about transgender, but they're at least lesbians of the trade of each other.
Okay.
So there's some indication of hormones being influenced there. So my question for you is, if hypothetically you had a male brain that was put in a female body, what pronoun would you use for this person?
First of all, I think that we'd have to have better science determining what constitutes a quote-unquote female brain versus a male brain, because brain science is really underdeveloped in this particular area. But assuming in the future that they come up with a strict definition, which I think is rather unlikely. But assuming that, let's assume you're hypothetical, this is a fun hypothetical. So they somehow create a brain swapping mechanism, and Kylie Jenner's brain ends up in Caitlyn Jenner's body, right? Okay, or body 3 years ago. That's the hypothetical. So the answer there is that I think that a more technical definition would probably be that the person is intersex, because now you're looking at a person who has a biological basis for their intersex behavior, right? They have genitals of one type, and they have a biology that dictates that their brain is functioning in another way. But to suggest that they're a full-fledged woman is not the case, because chromosomes still determine how your sex develops. The strict biological definition is strictly chromosome-based. I mean, if you talk to a doctor or a scientist and you say, is this person male or female, they'll give you a blood test, they'll look at your chromosomes, and they will say this person is male or female. If you're talking about something else, then you could be talking about somebody who's intersex. The argument that it seems to me a lot of transgender folks are making is not that they actually have to demonstrate anything objectively verifiable in order to claim transgenderism. And this is where you run into some problems, right? Not that we run a brain scan and we determine that you have a brain that looks more like a female brain than a male brain, but that without running a brain scan, if you claim or if you think that you're a member of the other sex, we now invariably have to call you a member of the other sex. That is an argument that proves way too much and is far too malleable for me. So if you want to create a separate set of pronouns that apply to people who have this hypothetical problem that you're talking about, I'm fine with this extra set of pronouns that you want to talk about, but I'm not comfortable with saying that a biological male is a she. Because a biological male is not a she, a biological male is a he.
Yeah, I saw your where the person like put their hands around your neck. I agree that there are cases where...
Yeah, that was a little bit over the top. That night did not go as I planned. I mean, at least ask me on a date first. That was
Yeah, I agree with you.
And I also, sorry, quick other note. I think that one of the problems here is that people, when they talk about, gendered brain, for example, this is why I keep saying we need some sort of objective test if we're going to talk about this, like an objectively verifiable test that you can look at a brain scan or something. Because otherwise, you get really quickly into very anti-feminist things, like, it's a male, but he's a very effeminate male, right? They'll say things like this, right? They'll say his gender is female because he's very effeminate. Well, that's actually really stereotypical. Well, he likes cooking and sewing and stuff. Like, that seems kind of like feminists might have a problem with that.
I've done a lot of brain scans where they look at the specific gender portions of the brain and find different gender statistically have a more gendered part of the brain.
So there are two problems with these brain scan studies, which I see. So the brain scan study, the first problem is that they are very, very small sample size, and also they're self-selected. So you have a bunch of people coming in and saying, I'm transgender, scan my brain. You can't do a study that way. What you have to do is you have to take a cross-section of people, you have to have a control group, you have to have a cross-section of people who are not transgendered also. And then you need to see, okay, if there's somebody in the non-transgender community who has the same brain scan but is not transgender, that sort of debunks the argument. And they haven't really done that. Well, if you have the study, send it to me and I'm happy to take a look at it. That's fine, I'm happy to take a look at it. The sample sizes are incredibly small, and finally, brain scans, as I say, they need to get a lot more sophisticated before I'm willing to buy this argument, because brain scans are notoriously difficult to remember. My wife being a doctor, we talk about this kind of stuff a lot, and brain scans, I mean, they still are trying to figure out the particular function of parts of the brain. So the idea that female biology comes down to a random part of the brain that we haven't even identified what it does yet, I mean, this is why brain surgery is so difficult. This is so. Listen, as the science develops, I'm willing to hear arguments about using a new set of pronouns to address people who have an objectively verifiable brain scan, for example. But I'm not willing to hear that Caitlyn Jenner, who spent his entire life as Bruce Jenner, is now a woman, without any further evidence other than Caitlyn Jenner saying he's a woman. That's not correct. And by the way, even if he had a brain scan that said differently, he'd still be a man with this particular problem. He'd be a biological man with a female brain, if your hypothetical is true, and let's be specific about our language. Yeah, thank you, I appreciate it.